Let every voice and sing. Let every voice and sing.
Chicago, and what's up, West Side? This is P-Ray of Black Excellence Hour, a show for people with high self-esteem. You could have been doing anything on this very beautiful Sunday evening, and you chose to come hang out with me today at Black Excellence Hour. And as always, all the time, I truly appreciate the company. If you are watching live on either the Black Excellence Hours Facebook page or the Intellectual Radio YouTube page, please be sure to share the live. Share the live. Today, we are talking about DebateGate. Lord have mercy. I told y'all these people were about to cheat. I told you, slap a bonnet on my head and call me Miss Cleo, because I keep telling people how this stuff is going to go. And it always goes exactly how I said it was going to go. It's not like I'm a psychic. It's just that I look at behavioral patterns. And I knew that based on the people that we are dealing with, they have no other choice but to cheat at this point, because America, not only Chicago, like Jesse said, but America is MAGA country. And so now they are completely panicking because they did not expect for people to catch on like this, especially Black folks in Chicago. Chicago is the epicenter of Black MAGA. But we're going to get into all of that today, because they have irrefutable proof that the Democrats and the Kamala Harris campaign cheated at the debate. And that's why my Donnie said that he is not going to do another one, because he does not have time to play with these people. I digress. Let's get our dose of self-esteem from the greatest president to ever do it, the one that they keep on shooting at and keep on missing. Lord have mercy. That is Donald John Trump Sr., the 45th president, soon to be president number 47. Roll tape. Uh-oh. Let's try it again. That was on me, y'all. Roll tape.
African Americans built this nation. You built this nation. You know, you're just starting to get real credit for that. Okay, I don't know if you know that. You're just starting to get, you built the nation. We all built it, but you were such a massive part of it. Bigger than you were given credit for. Does that make sense? Right? But through generations of blood, sweat, and tears, and you deserve a government that defends your interests, protects your families, and cares for our own citizens first. My administration is fighting with everyone and all our heart to reverse the pain inflicted by Democrat leaders and to deliver hope and opportunity and prosperity for all Americans, but for African American communities all throughout our land. And our agenda is lifting up citizens of every background, race, religion, color, and creed. But while we are fighting every day to build up our nation, the far left only wants to wreck, ruin, and destroy our nation.
All right. Again, that was Donald John Trump Sr., the 45th president, currently running for president number 47. Now, friends, this afternoon, my Donnie was down on his golf course, standing on his land, and a man was in the bushes with a backpack, with a rifle, a GoPro camera, a whole bunch of other stuff. But thank God the Secret Service saw this man and they put him down. Now he's alive. They caught him. He's alive. However, they said he had an AK style rifle, a backpack, and a GoPro camera. Initially, they were trying to say that the shots were fired within his vicinity, and they were trying to say that it was gang violence outside of the golf course. However, that was quickly debunked. You heard it here first. This was not gang violence, and it was not random bullets. And not only did P-Ray say this, but CNN did as well. Roll tape.
In the area of the shooting, sources say they recovered a backpack and a semi-automatic rifle that was described as an AK-47 in the preliminary reporting, and a GoPro camera. The last piece is very interesting because it suggests, if there was such a camera there, that this individual may have wanted to record himself in a first person doing the shooting. So a lot of questions to be answered. Is the suspect, they have the right person? Is that the right car? The weapon that they have has to be processed for evidence and ballistics. If there's video on that camera, if in fact it was recovered as we are told, what will that tell them? But that is what we are seeing right now.
So they caught this man with all of this stuff. He wanted to film himself shooting the president like the lame that he is. Now, they looked up this man because he was caught alive. His name is Ryan Wesley Roth. He's 58 years old. 58 years old. Too old to be playing like this. And he is from the state of Hawaii. They found some of his previous social media things, and he is a liberal who supports the Ukrainian war, and he's actually been trying to literally sell Afghani soldiers to both the Ukrainians and the Taiwanese. And he wants to create this foreign legion that's going to go around the world and implement this type of like craziness that they're doing. But I'm gonna let us listen to a couple of his words. Know that the liberals are now deranged. Okay, y'all thought I was playing when I said go get you a gun and some bullets. It's not a game. It's not a joke. It's not a ha-ha. It's not a funny. This is real life living. Okay, they have been used to bullying people into their perspective, and now everybody is saying, wait a minute, the emperor does not have on any clothes. We do not want to hear this anymore. And now they are becoming unhinged. Listen to Ryan talk. This man is nuts. Roll tape.
Please tell me who you are and why are you here?
56 from the U.S. From North Carolina originally. So live in Hawaii now. So flew all the way from Hawaii here. So the question as far as why I'm here, to me, a lot of the other conflicts are gray, but this conflict is definitely black and white. This is about good versus evil. This is a storybook, any movie we've ever watched, this is definitely evil against good. I mean, we're battling a situation here where, the Ukrainians and the rest of the world are caring and kind and generous and unselfish and take care of one another. And it's just a matter of, we need to stand up for that. That is the most important thing in the world, is just to show human beings that we're kind and we're caring and that we take care of one another and that the world is united so that we feed each other and make sure that, we all move forward as one collective whole unit. So, we feel the pain of one country's failure and their conflicts, and we enjoy the successes of other countries that are doing good, and we all work together. And for some reason, Russia does not grasp this concept that we're all one unit and we have to get along and work together. We're all one unit and we have to get along and be normal human beings. This is 2022. We have to work together. It seems asinine that we.
So this was Ryan Wesley Roth. This was 2 years ago. This is actually a video that he made while he was abroad, because again, he's like this self-described mercenary who likes to go around the world and sell soldiers. What's really interesting about this, though, is that he wants to use Afghani soldiers who are trained with American weapons in American warfare. And he wants to gather this group of people and take them around the world and liberate folks. This man is absolutely nuts. They are about to throw him in Guantanamo and may whatever needs to happen to him happen, because that is completely unacceptable. But this is what the Democrats do. This is what they do. They are a party of politically violent people. These are the people who set the Civil War into play by declaring war on the United States of America. These are the people who got the Ku Klux Klan to function as their guerrilla warfare arm to terrorize Black folks, but not only Black folks, but white Republicans as well. This is the group of people who are hurting us in the city of Chicago through their mission to force you into doing what you want them to do through political violence, which is why I don't have anything to do with those people. I mean, I can hang out with Democrats, but the Democratic Party, absolutely not, because P. Ray is not one to be bullied. However, they love to tell us that the reason that all of these things are occurring to us is because the Black people need help. They see us as a charity class. Well, friends, I found this really inspirational video. And this man, his name is Glenn Laurie. He's talking about the American dream. And this is why we have Black Excellence Hour, because we want everyone to know that the American dream is possible for all Americans. And the only people who have been stopping us from doing this are the Democratic Party. Roll tape.
A Black middle class has emerged. There are Black billionaires. Our influence on American culture is stunning and has worldwide resonance. In fact, when viewed in global comparative perspective, we Black Americans are rich and powerful. We have, for instance, access to 10 times the per capita income of the typical Nigerian. The cultural barons and elites of America, the people who run the mainstream media, who give out literary prizes and foundation grants, who run the human resource departments of corporate America, the universities, the movie studios. These powerful people have bought into the woke anti-racism sensibility, hook, line, and sinker, all of which just proves the premise that the American dream does not apply to us Black people. To say so is to tell a lie to our children about their country, a crippling lie which, when taken as gospel, robs our people of agency and a sense of control over our fate. A Black middle class has emerged.
Hey,
there are
stop
Black
that.
billionaires.
Like he said, they want to rob us of the sense of having any control over our fate, which is why Chicago's going red, which is why we are dumping them, because we deserve absolutely more than what they are giving us. Moving on. The people who are working with Chicago Red, in Chicago Red, and Chicago Red adjacent, we have been going down to City Hall to really let the City Hall legislators know what we're willing to take and what we are not willing to take. We know that right now the city of Chicago is currently looking at a $1 billion deficit because we are paying for the illegals to eat and thrive in our city. And therefore, somebody has to do something, and we have been going down there. One of the main people who are in the lead of this is Mama Doris. Mama Doris is an 80-year-old woman who lives in Hyde Park, and she is one of the leaders. She has tons of experience within the civil rights space. And she went down last Friday to talk to Brandon Johnson as an elder. Listen to what Mama Doris had to say to him, because I think you might feel the same way, which is why we, again, are dumping the Dems. Roll tape.
All I can say to you is that you are a disgrace. I'm an 80-year-old woman, and I've never seen anything like this. I grew up in the Jim Crow South, and the policies that you're passing in this city remind me of the Jim Crow South. I had to drink out of a colored water fountain, or the whites would drink out of a white water fountain. But you know what I didn't have to worry about? Going back to my community, and it would be destroyed. And everybody else is in my community but Black people. And this is what you've done with this immigration. You have allowed all these people, you brought all these people into this city. You are destroying this city. And the Black community is flooded with all of these immigrants, violent ones, prostitution, gangs. You did that. You are doing this to your people. You are an absolute disgrace to me. Like I said, I drank out of that colored water fountain, but I could go back to that Black community that was intact. Women are crying. Taxes are going up. What am I going to do with my children? Where are we going to go and live? This is because of you, Brandon Johnson. You're destroying the South Side of Chicago with your policy, all under the Democratic Party. You are a disgrace.
And disgraceful it is. And friends, we don't have to accept this. We do not have to accept this. We have options, and the option is to move on. Okay, there's no more trying to figure out how we're gonna, come to a conclusion with these people. They've shown us over and over and over and over and over and over again that they do not like us. They have also gone and tried to resurrect leadership that they think can tell you what to do, which is why Jesse Jackson Jr. is back in place. Shout out to Lil Jesse. I actually told him that it's time for him to come out, but had I known that he was going to come back and shield for the exact people who destroyed his family and his legacy and damaged his character, I would have just left the man alone. But P. Ray is always trying to get somebody a good word. That's my problem. I digress. They are trying their hardest right now to corral us back onto the plantation because as it stands right now at this very moment, 29% of Black America is supporting Trump openly. Okay. They said 1 in 4 Black men are doing that. So that's 25% of the Black men, maybe 4% of the Black women, even though I know that it's much higher than that. If we hit 30, if Black Cook County hits 30% for Trump, the entire state goes red. I'm going to say it again. If Black Cook County hits 30% for Trump, the entire state goes red, which is why we are saying Chicago red. A lot of people are like, Chicago ain't never going to go red. Oh, Illinois ain't going to do it. Oh, yes, they are, honey. Oh, yes, they are, because we don't have money or time to keep on playing with these people that are coming up here and spending our money, which leads us to this next story. At this present moment, there is a war brewing between Brandon Johnson and what's his man's name? JB Pritzker. I couldn't think of his first name. JB Pritzker and Brandon Johnson are about to get into it, according to the Sun Times. They said that right now there were a lot of people who are leaving Brandon Johnson's administration. It's actually kind of collapsing on itself. Last week, he fired a woman named Sydney Holman, who was the director of intergovernmental affairs, and he put his homegirl in place instead. She's very anti-police, and they're calling her an anti-Semite. There is actually a petition going around to get her removed from city government, and they're asking for Brandon to resign as well for putting this anti-Semite into play. I don't know the lady. I don't listen to the lady. I don't interact with the social misfits from high school. This is who's running this, y'all. Them. I went to these schools. I know these people. I grew up with them. I would never make them my leaders. I digress. However, this woman, Ms. Holman, the reason that they had her in the intergovernmental affairs position is because she's well known to state legislators. She started with the House Democratic staff, and then she was a House liaison for J.B. Pritzker. She was very well liked, even though Brandon Johnson was not popular in the state house. So he sent his shining star down there to handle the business. Well, Ms. Holman is gone, and now there is a budget deficit of $982.4 million for the next fiscal year. The city knew that this was coming. However, they thought that the state of Illinois was going to give them money to bail themselves out. However, they are saying that nobody is having serious talks with the city down in the state house. What Brandon wants is he wants $5 billion. Excuse me. He wants an increase of about $5 billion for statewide and Chicago specific school funding. Then he wants $2.5 billion to build the Bears a new stadium. And that's a combined total ask of $8.5 billion. That does not include the $730 million that they're asking to bail out CTA. And that's eventually going to rise to $1.32 billion. Sidebar, I want everybody to remember that the Chicago Public Schools are currently using the pupil transportation money to subsidize CTA in the form of bus cards for children instead of giving them the buses that they were entitled to. I digress. However, so now that Ms. Holman is gone, and she left because she did not want to answer to Brandon's homegirl, the one I was telling you about, Kennedy Bartley. So she left, and now there is this big hole in the middle of this relationship between the state house and Brandon Johnson. Well, now since this lady is gone, we do not have anybody who is going to go down there and handle the business for the city of Chicago to the state house. And now there's going to be this big hole in the Chicago budget that again will be sucked up by the homeowners in the city of Chicago. So if your taxes have gone up, oh, just wait, honey, because they are about to go up some more. And this is because, again, Brandon wanted to fire the liaison or the liaison between the city and the state quit because she did not want Brandon's friend telling her what to do. On top of the fact that Brandon fired two members of the inspector general's office, and he said that he's going to do more firing and do a hiring freeze for the city to fill the budget gap. Remember, he is denying American jobs to feed illegals. I'm going to say it again. Mayor Brandon Johnson is denying Americans job positions that we have open in the city of Chicago to feed illegals. Because as Mama Dora said, that man is a disgrace. And I told y'all, don't do this. I said, y'all, please don't support Brandon Johnson. Go for Willie Wilson. Willie Wilson said first came first when it came to American spending in Chicago, but y'all didn't want him because he talked funny, even though he signs the front of his check, and the people who talk bad about him sign the back of their checks. So maybe we should learn how to speak like Willie Wilson too. I digress. I say all this to say that now we are stuck with Brandon, and now we have these massive deficits in our budgets because we are dealing with someone who has never had the responsibility of doing anything with the budget. He's never been to business school. He and his friends thought that this was going to be like running a political organization, and it did not work. Sidebar, there was also news that went out that Alderman Jeanette Taylor had a heart attack last Friday. So please pray for Alderman Jeanette Taylor. Initially, she was with this progressive group. However, she has been voting no to fund the illegals. She did not come to the immigration meeting. So we just hope that she's doing well. But I really, really, really want her to get better because she is really down there and she's not who we think she is. Shout out to Jeanette. I really like me some Jeanette. Moving on. Speaking of the city council, Brandon Johnson also suffered a defeat on Friday when the city council pulled the plug on Byron Cicho Lopez, who is the alderman for the 25th Ward. They wanted him to become the zoning committee chair after he got rid of Carlos Rosa for manhandling Emma Mintz. They meaning the Hispanic caucus, wanted the zoning chair to be given to another Hispanic so that they could consolidate that power within the Hispanic community and City Hall. Well, it did not go because Byron did not have the votes at all, despite months of lobbying by Brandon. Instead, that went to Alderman Burnett. Now, y'all know Alderman Burnett be trying to pick on P. Ray because P. Ray is MAGA, but I do want to say that this is a very, very, very good decision because he has been very good at building up Fulton Market and the West Loop. So if he is in charge of zoning, this is going to be good, or it has the potential to be good. Byron Cicho Lopez came out and he had a whole attitude about this. He said that Andre Vasquez of the 40th Ward, Felix Cardona of the 31st Ward, and Gilbert Villegas of the 36th Wards can blame themselves for denying Brandon Johnson the chance to choose a Latino zoning chair. And then Andre said a majority of the Latino caucus does not support Alderman Cicho Lopez. I would not assign blame to a whole caucus if a majority has a concern about one person. Different people have different reasons. Andre also said when it comes to Walter Burnett, it's less drama for everybody. Walter understands zoning more than most and does not cause any drama. You see? You see how you could go down there and act a fool at City Hall and not get what you want because you think that you're just going to push people around and tell them what to do? Absolutely not. Gilbert Villegas said that Byron never had the votes, and he is someone who is just a firebrand who does not know how to build a consensus, and he is too extreme. So even the people within his caucus are saying that he is too extreme and he does too much. So shout out to Walter Burnett. And aha, Byron, you thought that you were going to be burning American flags. You thought that you were going to be calling for death to America. You thought you were going to be disrespecting us and we were going to put you in charge. Absolutely not. Moving on. Let's talk more about the election. So, my Donnie came and he was talking about ending sanctuary cities across the nation in his mass deportation plan. Here in the city of Chicago, like many other places, we were slapped with the sanctuary city label without anybody talking to us. We know that in Chicago, we started as a sanctuary city because of Mayor Harold Washington, and then Lori and Rahm Emanuel made it into something that we do not want. We then tried to vote on it, and like I told you before, Carlos Rosa decided he wanted to fight people and manhandle them to keep them from voting. Well, we're going to have to get some answers and some satisfaction from the federal government, and that satisfaction, friends, is going to come from President Trump. Roll tape.
Question. So you just said that you'll carry out the largest mass deportation of illegal immigrants. How are you going to have, for example, Governor Gavin Newsom or officials in sanctuary cities comply with that?
Well, if you go to the people of California, they don't want to have sanctuary cities anymore. They're tired of sanctuary cities. Sanctuary cities are really blocks that protect bad people from deportation and other problems. And they're going to do it. And our federal government has tremendous power. But we're not going to let states, even like California, even though I know it's largely a sanctuary state, essentially, but we're not going to let that happen to the people of California. They want these people out. They're just as scared as everybody else. The people of Ohio are scared. The people of Colorado, you have a governor there who's very weak. He doesn't know what to do. And he doesn't want to talk about it. A lot of it, as per your question, they don't want to talk about what's happening. They say it's so bad for the city. Let's not go public. Let's live with it for a little while. Maybe it'll go away. It's not going to go away. It's going to get worse. It's going to get so bad. You know what we're experiencing now is they're just getting settled in. There's 21 million people that have come in. They're just getting settled in. It's going to get much worse. It's going to get worse at a level like nobody's ever seen before.
Okay, so you heard them say 21 million people walked in while Jim Crow Joe and Kamala were in charge of the border. 21 million. To put that in perspective, y'all, the state of Illinois has 11 million people. So that more people walked in our country than there are in the entire state of Illinois, which is why, again, we are pro-MAGA and we are saying that we want these people gone. However, I also read that the U.S. government is actually trying to overthrow the Venezuelan government right now. Last week, the Venezuelans caught Americans. I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. They went down there to kill Maduro, y'all. The Venezuelan government seized over 400 U.S. assault rifles and arrested foreigners, including Americans, over an alleged plot to destabilize the country. So what they're doing is they're now sending mercenaries down to Venezuela to mess the country up even more so that more of them can run up here and suck up our tax dollars. Oh my God. Please, y'all, do not vote for Kamala Harris. Please, please, please. We cannot afford it. We cannot afford it. We cannot afford it. Nobody goes to work to pay for illegals. Nobody. And please, like I said, don't vote for Kamala. And if you don't want to hear me, if you don't believe me on why you should not vote for Kamala, I found this video of Joe Biden, who is the president to her vice presidency. He told us exactly why we should not vote for Kamala Harris. Not only do we have DebateGate, but this was a debate that needs to be heard by the American people. And I think I'm going to play it every week until the election. Roll tape.
Internet is forever. Do you remember this?
When Senator Harris was the Attorney General for 8 years in the state of California, there were two of the most segregated school districts in the country, in Los Angeles and in San Francisco. And she did not, I didn't see a single solitary time she brought a case against them to desegregate them. Secondly, she also was in a situation where she had a police department when she was there that in fact was abusing people's rights. And the fact was that she, in fact, was told by her own people, that her own staff, that she should do something about and disclose to defense attorneys like me that you, in fact, have been, the police officer did something that did not give you information would exculpate your client. She didn't do that. She never did it. And so what happened? Along came a federal judge and said, enough, and he freed 1,000 of these people. If you doubt me, Google 1,000 prisoners freed, Kamala Harris.
Thank you, Vice President Biden.
What a mess.
1,000 prisoners freed, Kamala Harris. That's your homework for this week. Google it just like the president told us to do, because she is not who you think you shoot. We are being told she is. Everybody wants to talk about Madani and his police qualified immunity bill. However, they don't talk about Kamala and her record as AG in the state of California. And y'all want to know why they're not talking about it? Because they were told not to talk about it. So let's talk about DebateGate, because they've been focusing on this debate. And they want to make it about Madani and how he said that they are eating the pets in Ohio. Now, initially, I was like, I don't know if this is true or not. But then some videos came, or not a video, a picture came out of Chicago on the north side, where there were actually some people standing on the sidewalk grilling a guinea pig. Now, guinea pigs are eaten in South America as a delicacy. However, in the United States of America, a guinea pig is a pet. So yes, they are eating the pets in America. This is not a game. There's also a picture of a guy holding a goose walking down the street, and they said that he was one of the guys who went out and hunted these geese while they were living at their home in an American park, minding their own business. The geese don't even see Americans as predators, so they didn't even know to run. But anyway, he's carrying this goose and he's walking down the street with it. They put out a statement saying that the goose actually got hit by a car and the man just happened to get out the car and pick up the goose and walk down the street with it. Ain't nobody stupid, okay? But President Trump was definitely telling the truth. Well, there was a fact checker given to President Trump, but there was no fact checker given to Vice President Kamala Harris. And I want y'all to listen to this bald-faced lie that she told during the debate that nobody fact-checked her on. Roll tape.
And as of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone in any war zone around the world. The first time this century.
So she said that there are no soldiers currently in active duty, and there were soldiers who literally took videos of themselves in active duty deployed. So she was lying to the people. Why does that matter, P. Ray? Why are you talking about her, P. Ray? That's your soror, P. Ray. P. Ray does not mix the sorority and her politics together. Rest in peace, Karen Yarbrough. She told me that we don't mix like that, basically. She said that she supported her party. She did not. And her party support had nothing to do with her politics. And I get it. I mean, her politics didn't have anything to do with her sorority. So I get it. However, at this debate, after the debate, there was an affidavit that came out from a whistleblower at ABC. And this whistleblower stated that they were told to give Kamala special treatment. And this affidavit was actually dated on September 9th, which was a day before the debate, because the debate was on September 10th. And what it says is this: everything is blocked out. And they did this to the state of New York. I, being redacted person, being duly sworn, hereby deposes and says, the department has read, that's better. The department has read the foregoing affidavit and hereby vows to the content, therefore, and that of the same to be true of the deponent's own knowledge, as to the matter therein to be stated to be alleged upon information and belief of those matters the opponent believes to be true. And this again was sworn on September 9th. This is what he said, y'all. These are the affirmations. This affidavit has been signed and notarized on September 9th, 2024 to ensure that the allegations set forth are formally documented prior to the debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. In addition to notarizing this affidavit, I have sent a certified letter to myself postmarked September 9th, 2024, which will remain unopened for any future investigations. I have also dispatched a Federal Express package containing this affidavit sent on September 9th, delivered to my residence on September 10th, which will remain unopened for potential purposes. So anyway, I say all this to say that they established it. This is what we got to talk about. For further investigation, I have secretly recorded several conversations that will prove that the Harris campaign insisted upon not only fact checking Donald Trump, but insisted on what questions were not to be asked under any circumstances, or the Harris campaign would decline to participate in the debate. So they cheated, y'all. They cheated just like they did with Donna Brazile. Remember when Donna Brazile and Kathy Weiserman got together and they gave Hillary the questions before the debate, and then it made Trump look bad? Well, they're playing the same trick. And now they're doing it with Kamala Harris. It's also important to realize that Lindsey Davis is a soror. Shout out to the sorors. So even though P. Ray does not mix her sorority with her politics, Miss Lindsey Davis definitely did. She said it to the to the LA Times, that she was, let's go back. Let's talk about why she did this. She said she wanted to address concerns that Trump's statements could be allowed to hang there unchallenged by his opponent or the moderators, as they were when Trump and Biden debated in June. So CNN already came, I'm sorry, not CNN, ABC already came up with the idea that they were going to fact check him, but not fact check her. It's also important to realize that Rachel, the woman who disrespected President Trump at the NABJ conference, she too worked for ABC. He said out of his mouth right there at the NABJ conference that ABC was fake news and that they were giving him a hard time. He said this over a month ago, y'all. And here we go. We see it right now happening again. ABC is fake news. ABC also lost $27 million of ad revenue after the debate because the advertisers could see how biased they were. This was not a fair debate. And once again, they tried to cheat my Donnie and they lost because nobody is stupid. Everybody knows what's going on. And she said that she did not want them to ask her any questions about her time being the AG. She did not want them to ask her any questions about the health of President Biden, and she did not want to talk about any of the polling. So she got to dictate the structure of the debate, which is not how debates work in the United States of America. They cheated in real time, and cheaters never win, cheaters never prosper. And this is why I feel in my bones that MAGA is about to be extremely successful. Give me a call, 773-345-9977, 773-345-9977. Do you think that the cheating that they've engaged in is going to have any impact on the debate or on the outcome of the election? We know now that we cannot trust the mainstream media, which is what Donald Trump has been saying from the beginning. We also know that they are allowing this invasion to occur because what they're trying to do is get the congressional numbers up. The Democratic Party here in the state of Illinois hates Black folks so much, hates us so much, that they made conditions unbearable for us in the state, forcing us to leave the state. Then they colluded to bring in more illegals into the state so that they can count those bodies for congressional districts, but then those bodies would not have a vote. So then we can create a permanent blue government. We know what they are doing. Again, ABC News has been called out by a whistleblower at ABC saying that they gave Kamala Harris the questions before time and they let her dictate the structure of the debate, which included only fact checking Donald Trump and not fact checking her, although she was lying. She told a bald-faced lie. I just played it for the people. She said that there are no Americans in combat zones, and there definitely are Americans in combat zones. So we know we can't listen to her. She's not telling the truth. We know that the news has been compromised. We know that they are bringing these people in. We know that they are eating the pets because they're literally eating the guinea pigs. And there is a tutorial on YouTube where you can actually see Haitian people telling you how to skin and cook a cat. Y'all, people eat bushmeat. People eat bushmeat in real life. For us, we see dogs and cats as being like, part of the family, domesticated animals. And other parts of the world, they don't see them that way. That's just bushmeat, just like people eat monkeys in some part of the world. Remember, they said that's how we ended up with with AIDS, right? Because people were eating these monkeys, which are bushmeat. We have people eating dogs, which is bushmeat. We got people eating guinea pigs, which is bushmeat. This is a real thing. So the things that they said that Donald Trump was lying about, he was actually telling the truth. There's plenty of documentation around that. However, Kamala Harris was lying with the help of the ABC News people. Again, this whistleblower has put out this document saying that ABC colluded with the Harris campaign in order to give her a leg up during the debate. This is not okay, y'all. This is not okay. This is not how a democracy works, which is why, again, we are fleeing the Democratic Party as quickly as possible. 773-345-9977. Give us a call and let us know what you think about this, because this is wild. Wild business. While we are queuing up the callers, I want to give a couple of shout outs to the people in the chat. First things first, shout out to Ms. Zaviola Coleman, shout out to Bobby Q. Shout out to Black Agenda Group, who says that they are sending inmates and prisoners from lawless countries, and if a person needs to be locked up in a country without laws, that person is the worst of the worst, and now they are in America. It's true, and that's why P. Ray said call ICE. 866-DHS2 ICE. 866-DHS2 ICE. See something, say something. Shout out to William Riley. Shout out to Waveland King. Shout out to Lamar McGee, Trevor Manley, Pepe Renteria, Dennis White, and Miss Muhammad, as well as Mike Burris, Jay Freeman, and everybody else. If I did not call your name, charge it to my head and not my heart. Bobby Q said in South Vietnam, those people have been eating dog and rice for years. Again, everybody don't see a dog as lassie. Some people look at it as food. Correctional officer for lockdown says that he wants me to have security at all times. Yes, I do need security. I think about this all the time, y'all. I'm like, if they hit Martin Luther King in the face with a brick, they will hit P. Ray in the face with a brick. So yes, I definitely need that security. I also want to give a shout out to Latanya. Shout out to Latanya, part of Chicago Red, to Harmony, who said that the 21 million people who came into this country, that represents 7 congressional districts. Yes, that's why they're bringing them in, so that they can take the place of the Black people who were pushed out of our city, out of our state, out of the county. They would rather give them all of this tax money than give the Black American, the Negro, the tax dollars that they are entitled to in order to live better lives. They don't care about us. They don't care about us. And if you ever considered thinking about that the Democratic Party cared about Black Chicago, we have all of the evidence now that shows otherwise. Shout out to the Chicago Conservative, who is also a part of Black Excellence Hour. Again, we don't have to get into a whole debate conversation about people eating rodents, because we know that people eat bushmeat all around the world, just like some people eat squirrels and possums and ducks and deers and all these kind of stuff. Well, They are also eating bushmeat like cats and dogs and guinea pigs. Again, we have the pictures of them cooking a guinea pig on the sidewalk. They did not go get that guinea pig from Food for Less, okay? That is a pet in the United States of America. This is wild. They are cheating and they are gaslighting us. And we deserve better, y'all. We deserve better. We don't have to take this. We don't have to accept this as being the norm. We do not have to go there. We don't. We have choices. Don't let people gaslight you into making a bad decision for you and your family. There are a lot of people out here, you guys, who are MAGA just like us, but they now don't feel comfortable saying it. So our goal right now is to make people feel comfortable in the decision that they are going to make. If you have a birth certificate and a social security card based on what Kamala Harris was saying, she ain't got nothing for you. Nothing. Every time they say immigrant and they say migrant, they saying not you, Negro, because we are not migrants. We are not immigrants. That is not our business. And none of our social and political capital should be assigned to any of that. That's not our business. We got real American things to talk about, which is why if you are a person with high self-esteem, you should be voting for MAGA. And the people will say, well, P. Ray, I can't vote for Trump. Don't vote for Trump. Don't vote for Trump. Don't vote for Trump. Vote for MAGA. Vote for yourself. Vote for you as an American and your children and your family and your American relatives. That's who you're voting for. Trump is just the vessel that is going to save America. We're not voting for Donald John Trump. He's just a man, but he's a man with a plan to keep Americans safe. And we know now, again, we cannot trust mainstream news at all. If you did not read it for yourself, don't believe it. If you did not see it for yourself, don't believe it. If you did not hear it for yourself, don't believe it. And if you're listening, make sure that you're listening to the first 10 seconds before that and the 20 seconds after so that you can hear it completely. Because the ABC debate earlier this week was a farce. It was a farce. They were cheating. They cheated before. That's actually why I left the Democratic Party, because we got to wrap up. We got another group coming behind us. But one of the main reasons that I left the Democratic Party and I voted for Jill Stein in the 2016 election, because I didn't vote for Trump the first time because I did not like Pence, but I digress. It was because of how they treated Donna Brazile. Debbie Weiserman decided that she was going to cheat for Hillary Clinton. And then when all of the facts came out, they threw Donna Brazile under the bus as a party and they blamed the Black woman. Well, this time they're about to do it the same way. They're about to blame Lindsey Davis for what happened. They're about to blame the AKAs for what happened. And I want to say that Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated does not have anything to do with the lying and confusion that happened between ABC and the Harris administration. So please, 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 please don't put it on the AKAs. These are just two AKAs that made a bad decision. But what it does is it diminishes the validity and political power of Black women. After Rachel, who's also a soror, pulled that stunt at NABJ, lots of Black journalists lost their jobs, according to the Chicago president of NABJ. So what the Democratic Party is doing is actually causing Black female journalists to lose validity within the media, which then makes it harder for everybody else. So please do not listen to these people. They are lying to you. They are lying to me. And everybody deserves better than what we have. Know right now that city council is not popping. Everybody is tired of Brandon. So if you have any time at all in your schedule to go down there and talk on the mic and let them know that you too are tired of playing and paying for the illegals. With all of that being said, the music is playing and we are at the end of the show. Know, people, that goodness is coming, okay? Don't feel despair. We got 50 days to pull it together. We don't have time to talk about racism. We don't have time to talk about classism. We are in the middle of an invasion, and during the invasion, it's one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We got to stick together, fellow Americans. Do not let these people trick us out of our time, our money, our birthright with their games. They are invested in the illegals and not invested in the Americans, and that's why it is time to dump the Dems, join the MAGA movement, and put your American family first. This is P. Ray of Black Excellence Hour, a show for people with high self-esteem. I truly appreciate the company like I do every single week. Shout out to the Chicago GOP. See you tomorrow night at the gala. Pop out with us. Ciao. Mwah. See y'all later.